Welcome back to Conversations with the ERC5. My name is Grace Baroni, and today I am so delighted to have with me Kevin Rothschild-Shea from Architecture EL. Welcome to the show. It is such a pleasure to have you here with us today, Kevin.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Big fan. As we mentioned before, on my Sunday runs, I always go by the home on Main Street that you did, and it really is a gorgeous home. I think it's just phenomenal what you did and how you just incorporated the addition to the house.
Yeah,
that
was important. That's my family home. Actually, you're running by every Sunday morning.
I'll stop in for coffee next week and ask if I can have a tour of the inside.
Pick something from the garden. That was a lifetime project. We've been there 20 years plus now, and we spent a long time thinking about it, and it's been really important as part of the kind of the historic traditional Main Street.
Yes. To
develop in a way that that was a good fit and a valuable asset to the community and to the property itself. So we're pretty proud of it. We enjoy it.
You should be. Check. You checked everything off the box, and I know I'm not the only one who is in awe of the work you've done there, because sometimes my running group comes out this way. A lot of the ladies are from Long Meadow, and it's just always easy to run this, and we run by, and everyone's like, oh, did you see that? And it's like, yes, it's fabulous. So tell us about Architecture EL.
So we're a firm about 8 or 9 people strong. We have a couple summer interns that are helping us out this year, so it's kind of great to groom some youngsters and bring them into the profession. But we're a firm that specializes largely in multifamily and affordable housing. It's a great niche that we've grown into, and we serve a wonderful population that has ever-expanding need, especially in today's more challenging market. And we also are kind of a jack-of-all-trades firm, as many small Western Mass firms need to be. We have commercial, medical, office, accessibility, municipal, a little bit of everything we kind of touch in the area. There's relatively few firms that can actually focus on just one trade or one type of housing or one type of project.
So to circle back to something you just said, you mentioned multifamily housing, and I've seen on your website, I've seen some of the wonderful work that you have done. And I'm very excited for you because you're also doing this amazing project, 34 affordable rental housing units, if that's the right word to use, in Pelham.
Yes, it's a wonderful small town. It's a wonderful project. So we're proud of that project. It's affordable, and we're working on that with a local community developer, Home City Development out of Springfield. Their focus is to serve the community in need and resolve housing deficiencies. So that's a wonderful project in a small town, really designed to fit in the community, which I think it was the biggest. Other than the town hall, might be the biggest project in town ever.
Yeah. I mean, and Pelham, I think, as I said before, of all the small towns associated sort of with the Quabbin, and they all have this just amazing charm, and they're so rich in history. And I think, you've got this canvas. So now how do you take like what you're designing and make it fit into Pelham and the history of Pelham?
So that was actually a project. Well, for one, because it was one of the newest and singular largest projects coming to town. But Pelham recently had developed a bylaw where they were greatly concerned about development and proper fit of the development. And then in their bylaw, they actually have a style guideline, for lack of a better word. So that sets some boundaries for us to work to. And of course, the project being unique, it didn't fit any one of the categories because they never quite imagined this kind of project
Something like
coming to their
this.
town. But we and Home City actually came to the town in partnership. They actually asked us to participate with them. Their housing committee had identified a need, and they were looking for a friendly partner to develop the affordable housing. So we started with their guidelines. We have a very interesting site down a hill along a beautiful little stream where there used to be a dam that was removed. It's a beautiful little pocket of land. So in that place, the site dictated a lot. The town bylaws dictated a lot. The owners or my client's program and budget dictated a fair amount. And all those things start to feed and define the shape of the building. So we kind of stir all those things up in the stew and then start coming out with, the solution in the shape of a floor plan or a building elevation and a rendering.
Yeah.
So it's a fun process.
If you say so.
Challenging.
It sounds, challenging. It sounds a little overwhelming. I mean, I can't make a decision on what color I want to paint a room.
Oh, yeah. We still go with that too, though.
Things like that. And I think you have to make sure you check off all the boxes with the bylaws and the town, and then with the folks that have hired you, are you checking everything off there? And you have to make it all come together. And then in the world we're in right now, there's also a lot of, everybody wants to be eco-friendly. And then that probably enters into the equation. And how do you make it sound like, it just all comes together. But that must be a real challenge.
It is. It takes a long time. That project in particular started in 2018.
Really?
We are right now moving to the closing table. It's a state-funded project. We're moving to closing to get funding to start construction in September. So along with those boxes to check, this is also a high-performing project. We are in the process of obtaining certification through what is called Passive House US. So this building will meet this third-party certification, be high-performing, highly insulated, airtight, with super efficient mechanical and electrical systems, carbon neutral, no fossil fuels. So all that's on top of designing a building that's a nice fit in a small town. And it's a challenge. There's no doubt about it, but it is interesting.
Well, you've exceeded expectations in all of the wonderful things you've done. I'm excited to see the process and see the final project. Because again, I think I'm super excited for you, the people of Pelham as well. What a wonderful opportunity for everybody.
Sure.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
So back to people like me, homeowners. Because we get to that place in life. One stage we're raising kids. So how do you fit all these kids into your house, right? And then you've got everything you need and the kids can all come home now, but the kids get married, then they go off, and you go through different stages. And I'm always like, oh, so now what do we do? And now we're at that place again. It's like, do we stay? Do we go? And then if I stay, I'm like, well, I can't stay with it like this. I need A, B, and C, which makes my husband go, yikes, what is she going to want? And what I want today, I can absolutely guarantee you that, in 3 months, you ask me about it, and I'm going to have a whole other vision. That has to be very challenging.
Well, yeah. Our profession is design buildings and office spaces and doctor's offices and accessible ramps and bathrooms, all those fun things. And then we have to kind of get to know the client. The key and the core of it is in communication.
Yes.
And sometimes all we can do is capture your ideas and goals and wishes at one point in time and try to allow for some flexibility where future ideas and options might have room to come into play or, evolve into the solution. But we work with single family homes and residents and people as well. And it's a challenge. It's all about just like on a bigger project, understanding what the client's needs are. And that's what we really work hard on, whether it's a commercial project or a multifamily or working with a family in their house. You really have to understand and listen to what their needs are and then be able to translate those thoughts and wishes into a buildable plan, you know, and that's a challenge. And that's what we train for, and it's always exciting.
Okay. Because I was just thinking, I could see myself like you would design something for me and you've got all this great work. And then we look at it and I say, oh, gee, Kevin, that's great. But could we change this and maybe put it over there? I'd be a difficult person, I think.
No.
Not intentionally. It's just because every time I see a new product, you have those wonderful blogs out on your social media. So I'm watching those, and every time you talk about a different product, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I want that. I want everything.
Well, it is a challenge, but the design process is one of evolution. The first thoughts that we put down are never the final.
Okay. Good to know.
We take your ideas, we put them down sometimes in 1, 2, 3 plan options. We review them with you. We take the good ideas, we throw out the bad, and then we kind of massage them into a plan that works for everybody. And sometimes part of our process is to educate you, the customer, as to, well, maybe you can't do that because the town won't allow it. You're over your setback, or there's structural restrictions. You just can't build that far without getting into some really expensive steel framing or extra elements that aren't in your budget. So then you have to realize that and then compromise, and then you understand why we had to go the way we go. And it's a mutual effort.
Okay. All right. Well,
we'll be fine.
We'll see about that. But for our guests, our viewers who are watching us at home, and they're thinking, I want to speak to Kevin and I want to learn more. I've got an idea. How can they get in touch with you?
Sure. Well, that's easy. Our website, architectureel.com, will get you a chance to connect with us. You'll find our contact information, and we're pretty readily available.
Okay. And your Facebook page, I find that is very helpful. And I'll be watching because I hope you'll keep us apprised of the Pelham project. I'm just really enthused by that, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all develops.
Great. We'll be sharing photos as we go.
Great. That'll be great. Thank you. Look forward to it. Kevin, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you making time. And thank you to our viewers at home for joining us for Conversations with the ERC5. It's a pleasure having you with us. If you would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at erc5.com.